All right, let's talk running. If you're a runner, I bet you've heard this a million times. Just trust the plan. Stick to that spreadsheet no matter what. But what if the real secret to getting faster, and way more importantly, staying healthy, isn't about blindly following that schedule? What if it's all about learning to listen to your body? That's exactly what we're going to break down today.
First, I want you to just look at this number, 46%. According to some really solid research, that's the percentage of recreational runners who will get injured in a single year. Think about that for a second. That's almost 1 out of every 2 of us. For a sport that's supposed to make us healthier, that is a wild statistic.
So you have to ask, why? What is going on that's sidelining so many people? What's really interesting is that the data shows novice runners get injured more than twice as often as the veterans. So is it just bad luck? Are our knees just not built for it? Or is there something else going on that we've been completely overlooking?
And this, right here, brings us to the core idea of this whole explainer. More often than not, the problem isn't your body. Your body is amazing. The problem is the plan, that rigid, one-size-fits-all training plan that doesn't care if you slept like garbage, if you're totally slammed at work, or if you're fighting off a cold. It treats every day like it's exactly the same, but our bodies are anything but.
So here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll get into the science of why runners get injured. Then, we'll uncover the signals your body is sending you every single day. We'll look at 3 super simple checks you can do, build a framework for making smarter decisions, see how it all works in the real world, and then I'll give you a 4-week plan so you can start doing this yourself.
All right, let's start with the science. To break this crazy injury cycle, you've got to understand one thing above all else: recovery. See, the training run, that's just the stimulus. All the magic, the getting stronger, the getting faster, the injury prevention, all of that happens when your body rebuilds. And the master controller of that whole process, it's your nervous system.
The easiest way to think about it is like this. Your sympathetic nervous system, that's your body's gas pedal. It's your fight or flight mode that gets you all revved up for a run. But then you have your parasympathetic system, and that's the brake. It's what lets you rest and digest, and, most importantly for us, it repairs all that muscle tissue so you can adapt and get stronger. The trouble starts when that gas pedal gets stuck to the floor.
So, how can we actually peek under the hood and see if our gas pedal is floored or if our brake is working? Well, the best tool we have for that is called heart rate variability, or HRV. Now, you might think a perfectly steady, metronome-like heartbeat is a good thing, right? It's actually the total opposite. A high amount of variation between heartbeats is a fantastic sign. It shows your body is relaxed, responsive, and that your brake system is working well, ready to handle whatever you throw at it.
Now I know what you're thinking. Okay, this HRV stuff sounds cool, but I probably need some expensive watch or a fancy ring to track it. And here's the best part: you don't. The most powerful, scientifically backed tools for measuring your daily readiness are 100% free. So let's break down the 3 most important ones. Every morning, we're just going to do a quick check-in on 3 things: how well you slept, what your resting heart rate is, and simply how you feel. That's your subjective readiness. Put them together, and this trio gives you an amazingly accurate picture of how ready your body is to train. First up, sleep. Look, it is not a luxury. It's the single most powerful recovery tool you have, period. And this chart really puts it in perspective. The research is clear. Runners who get less than 7 to 8 hours of sleep have a 1.7 times higher risk of getting injured. That is a huge, huge difference, and it's something you have direct control over every night. Second up is your resting heart rate, or RHR. Just take it for a minute every morning for about a week to figure out your personal baseline. After that, it becomes this incredibly powerful signal. So let's say your RHR is normally 50, but today it's 54. That's your body giving you a little nudge, a sign of some mild fatigue. Probably a good day to dial back the intensity. But if it's elevated by more than that, that's a loud and clear signal to prioritize rest. And finally, the third signal is just checking in with yourself. How do you feel? I know, it might sound a little bit woo-woo, but the science on this is solid. Your own gut feeling, your rating of readiness, mood, and fatigue, is a surprisingly accurate predictor of how you're going to perform and whether you're at risk. A quick 1 to 5 rating on these simple questions gives you a vital piece of the puzzle. Okay, so we've got our 3 signals: sleep, RHR, and how we feel. Now for the most important part. What do we do with that information? This is where we turn that data into a smart decision each morning, using a really simple framework.
So if all your signals are looking good, you slept well, your RHR is normal, you feel motivated and ready, that's a green day. It means your body has the capacity to handle the stress of whatever workout you had planned. All systems are go. Simple as that.
Now, what if one or two of those signals are a little off? Maybe you only got 6 hours of sleep, or your RHR is just a few beats high. That's a yellow day. And a yellow day doesn't mean you just scrap your run. It just means you need to be smart. You modify the plan. Maybe you turn that hard interval session into an easy, relaxed recovery run instead.
And if multiple signals are flashing bright red warning signs, you slept terribly, your heart rate is way up, and you just feel drained, that is a red day. And please, listen to this. A red day is not a failure. It's the exact opposite. It's smart training. It means your body is begging for recovery so it can adapt and actually get stronger. Listening is the smartest thing you can do.
Let's see how this actually looks in a real week. On Tuesday, the plan called for hard intervals, but the runner woke up in the yellow zone. So instead of forcing it and risking an injury, they smartly swapped it for an easy run. Then on Sunday, after a long run, their signals were red. They didn't feel guilty about it. They took a real recovery day. This is how you build consistency and stay healthy for the long haul.
But does this whole adaptive approach actually work? And what are some of the common traps people fall into when they start trying to listen to their bodies? Let's look at a couple real-world examples and clear up some myths.
Take Sarah here. She was training for a half marathon and started noticing her resting heart rate was creeping up, and she just felt totally wiped out all the time. Instead of just pushing through, she started using her yellow days to turn hard workouts into easy ones. And the result? She ran a personal best, stayed injury-free, and actually enjoyed her training. Her success came from being flexible, not from being rigid. And then you have the flip side of the coin with Emma's story. It's a really powerful cautionary tale. She was an experienced runner, but she started ignoring the signals. Her RHR was high for weeks, her mood was in the gutter, but she kept forcing herself to hit the paces on her plan. The result? A classic overuse injury that sidelined her for weeks. The warning signs were there the whole time.
So let's bust a few common myths real quick. First, feeling tired doesn't always mean you need to be a couch potato. Sometimes an easy run is the best recovery. Second, a green score isn't a command to go smash a workout. It just means your body has the capacity to do it, not the obligation. And most importantly, you do not need an expensive gadget for this. The best tools are, and always will be, free.
Okay, I know this all sounds good, but how do you actually start? That's what this is all about. So here's a simple 4-week action plan to get you going and integrate all this into your routine, starting as soon as tomorrow morning.
We're just going to ease into this. For week 1, your only job is to be a detective. Just collect the data. Log your sleep, find your baseline RHR, rate how you feel, don't change a single thing about your training. Then, in week 2, just try making one single adjustment on a yellow or a red day. By weeks 3 and 4, you'll start to see patterns emerging, and from then on, it's all about trusting the process and refining how you listen.
Which really leaves us with one final question to think about. We've all been conditioned to believe that the perfect training plan is the one that's written in stone weeks or months in advance. But what if the safest, most effective plan isn't on a spreadsheet at all? What if the best training plan is the one your body writes for you, fresh, every single morning?